This is Karen with newclevelandradio.net, and it is Tuesday, so therefore it must be time for What in the World with Paul Seaburn and his sidekick, John DiNllo. And we're back on schedule, guys.
Hey, that is great, Karen.
That's right. Yeah. We did it just for John for coming back.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support, as always.
So if you need any help out there, it is Tuesday at 3:30, and that is the regular time for What in the World with me, your host, Paul Seaburn, and Karen Hale, who just introduced us. Karen is our producer, co-host, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, which is our platform. And back with us this week is John DiNllo, host of What in the World of Sports, and our trivia guy, and also a world traveler and swamp ape hunter, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, John? We sent you on assignment to Florida to look.
I was on an assignment in Florida, but I have to report, unfortunately, I was not able to encounter the swamp ape.
No.
So you didn't even get any blurry pictures?
Good one, Karen. No, in fact, I was so shut out, didn't even have a chance to get one of those grainy photos that I always complain about. And Bigfoot, but hey, like they say, better luck next time.
That's
there
right.
You go. We'll send John out on assignment again. Well, don't worry, John. We've got a Bigfoot story for you. So
good.
Saved one for you. John, by the way, for those of you who are not watching us on YouTube, number one, why not? Number two, John has his Cavaliers outfit on this week. So Cleveland Cavaliers are our city basketball team. We're in Northeast Ohio in the Cleveland area. The Cavaliers are doing well. They're going to be in the playoffs. The Guardians are doing well. Season just started, so we won't say what's going on with them. And we've got a bunch of sports stories for us today. Odd sports, not professional sports, but some very unusual sports, along with John's sport for the week. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? The Bigfoot I mentioned is in New Hampshire, unusual place for a Bigfoot, and it turns out it's an unusual Bigfoot. So John, be ready for that.
I will be.
Some food stories. Karen hates the food stories because it makes her hungry. But we've got the world's worst breakfast from Japan, the world's worst ice cream from Houston, the world's largest wig. This is for you, Karen. World's largest wig. That story's from Australia.
I don't wear a wig.
I didn't say you wore a wig. I just thought you might be more interested than John or I.
Okay.
Would not be wearing wigs. I lost my place here. But this is what happens when we don't have rehearsal. Food for the King's coronation. The King's coronation is coming up, and people are coming out with commemorative food for the coronation. So we got a couple of those. An alien photographed in Bolivia. Boy, yeah, I'm saving this till the end, so you got to hang on. But this is a great story. This was very popular with the Serious Universe, which is where I work when I'm not doing What in the World. I am the editor and head writer at mysteriously.org. where you can find a lot of paranormal stories, some stories very similar to the ones we do here. Not as funny. We try to be serious for our readers at Mysterious Universe. At What in the World, forget it. We're here to laugh and have a good time. So hopefully that's what we'll be doing today. Let's see, what else we have? Oh, I got some more odd news. I've got some more strange sports. Then we play everybody's favorite weird news game, Bluff the Co-host. I have bad news for you, John, but we're going to wait until we get to Bluff the Co-host.
You guys are setting me up. I can just see it right now.
John, good day back. All right. First story. Let's take a look at the time here because we want to make sure we don't run out of time. This one comes from Maine, world's most unusual world record. The Northern Maine Ice Busters are the owners of a new world record certified by Guinness. They cut through 30 inches of ice on a lake in Maine to create the world's largest ice carousel. Now, Karen, you spent a lot of time in Michigan, which is colder than
right.
Cleveland. have you ever heard of an ice carousel?
No.
No. I lost my place here. I need to put up a picture for it. You've never heard of an ice carousel. Okay,
No.
John, have you? Just by any chance?
Paul, honestly, and Karen, no, I have not.
Okay, well, I've got a picture of it up here, so you can take a look at it. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, and I said before, why aren't you? We have a lot of photos that go along with the stories here, so I'll try to describe them. But the best way to really get the essence of the story is to follow us, watch us on YouTube, follow us. Doesn't cost you anything, just like our podcast, absolutely free. So please do that. So what we're looking at here is a huge, huge circle on a frozen lake in Maine. And those little dots are cars. So that gives you a little bit of an idea exactly how big this frozen circle is. Let me see here. So what they did, it's 6 football fields in diameter, 1,700 and something feet. They cut it with giant saws. So they draw the lines first, and then the circle, and then these guys go with giant saws. Here's a picture of the guys with the giant saws. So you can see very nice cut that they put in there. So they cut all the way around the circumference of that circle, all the way to the water. So this is 30 inches down until that circle of ice has freed itself from the rest of the lake, and magically it starts spinning. Now, to me, I'm appreciative that they're not standing on the inside of the disc rather than the outside, because I think I saw that on Canada's Funniest Home Videos, where they're on the wrong side and they start spinning or they fall in. They made a point of saying that this is 6 football fields in diameter, which I believe is to entice Americans to try it too, because the people in Maine are people outside of Maine, I mean, they're experienced at doing this kind of thing. We're not. We'd fall in. So it was compared to a lazy Susan because it spins around. Now we know what a lazy Susan is, right? That's one of those serving platters that spins around.
Sure.
Do you know where that term came from, lazy Susan? Any ideas?
I've often wondered that. And I hope you can shed some light on that for us, Paul, today.
Oh, I certainly will. It's not called a lazy John or a lazy Karen or a lazy Paul for that matter. It's a lazy Susan. It apparently came from the not the term, but the actual device, the platter, came from 13th century China. So it's been around a long time. They didn't call it that. They called it a rotating table. The term lazy Susan actually came from England in the around the 18th century. And it was to refer to the work ethic of servants in the household. So they would refer to the especially the female servants as lazy Susan. Lazy Susan is so lazy, we have to put our food on this spinning disc and spin it around because she can't get around it fast enough to serve it. So that's where it came from. Yeah, it's a derogatory term for hardworking servants in English households. How about that? Now, John, this is for you and Karen. This activity is so popular. There's actually a World Ice Carousel Association, which apparently sets the rules. One of the rules is that the disc has to spin freely. So, and they even regulate the trash talk. So it just reminded me of watching the basketball games this weekend. They actually have trash talk. The worst thing that you can say to your competitors in ice carousel competitions is, "You're a real ice hole." You know that? Can't say that. The association will fine you for that. So, okay. Now we go to Wisconsin, known for cheese, right? With the Wedgewater Spa in Madison, Wisconsin, has just opened up a cheese-themed luxury Spa. This is there we go. There's the spa right there. They're offering and get ready for this, an immersive cheese experience, including cheese rind scrubs, Limburger moisturizing mist, a Gouda wax, and a cheddar cheese facial.
I don't think I'll ever eat cheese again.
It's a different way of viewing cheese, that's for sure.
This is for people who sometimes wonder what it would be like to go through life as a nacho. That's all I can think. I mean,
Really?
who would want? I agree, Karen. Who would? I don't. Apparently, there's some restorative abilities of liquid cheese on your face that I don't have. I don't have the video, but the video shows a lady who gets the cheese all over her face, and she has cucumbers over her eyes, and to protect her eyes. And when it's all done, she takes the cucumber off, which is also covered with cheese, and she eats it. So there's extra benefit going there as well. But one of the things they advertise on their menu, so to speak, is a fondue facial, which I believe they did that in Animal House, if I'm not mistaken. They also have, this is for you, John, a salt brine bliss colonic. Salt brine bliss colonic. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the words bliss and colonic in the same sentence.
Yeah.
No, I don't. You and me both, and as well as Karen. I don't know if Karen's ever seen that.
Not appealing. I know, not appealing. First, also the rind scrub. Now this is for you, Karen. They take the rind from hard cheeses and they rub it on your skin, and it's like a defoliant. I tried this once, by the way, and that's why I'm not allowed to shop at Kroger's anymore. And then I had it on Facebook, and some people commented about the Limburger mist. The Limburger mist. I had that too, as a matter of fact. I was having lunch with a client back in the old days, and my client wanted a Limburger platter, so I got him a Limburger platter. And he's got a mouthful of Limburger, and he sneezes all over me.
Oh.
That was the good news is I got the order, so it didn't matter.
Okay.
Right, John? You do anything to get the order.
You got it, Paul. You and Karen and audience. You have to get the order. That's right. If you're in sales, you have to get the order.
That's right. Give the customer's always right. Give the customer what they want, especially if they want a Gouda wax. This was the other one that I really liked. So Gouda cheese comes in that wax container that we all know and love. So the Wedgewater Spa offers a Gouda wax, and they said they take that red wax, they cover you with it. They will wax your brows, your eyebrows, obviously, your face, your underarm, your legs, or get ready for this, they will also give you a Gouda Brazilian.
I think I'll pass.
This could save the milk industry completely. Gouda Brazilian. Everybody be flocking to Wisconsin, to the spa, just to get a Gouda Brazilian. There's two more words I don't think I would have ever said in the same sentence.
No.
Okay, all right. So moving on from that, let's move on to John's favorite subject, Bigfoot. So this story comes from, of all places, New Hampshire. A woman in Bartlett, New Hampshire. I'm not sure where that is in the beautiful state of New Hampshire, but she was in the woods and she caught on video a large, walking upright, Bigfoot-looking being going through the forest that she said not only spooked her, but also spooked her large Mastiff mixed dog, which is a huge dog, enough that the Mastiff refused to go any farther on their walk. It basically sat down and demanded that she turn around and leave. So let's take a look. She said this Bigfoot was within a few feet from them. So we have our convenient red circle there so you can see where the Bigfoot is. Let's see what else we have here. Just a few feet away, she detected a smell. She was close enough that she could smell the Bigfoot. And it smelled like a dead and decaying body, according to the witness. She said she wasn't sure if it was Bigfoot or just a really smelly person in dark clothes. The dog, they interviewed the dog as well. The dog says he's not going back out unless she starts taking mace and breathe. So, John, what do you think? Take a look at that photo, and Karen as well, and anybody who's watching live on YouTube or in the future on YouTube, and take a look, see what you think. Does that look like a? Now, you obviously they had a video, very brief video, only about 5 seconds, so you couldn't see much. The one thing you did see was the arm moving. So, and it moved from right to left on your screen, I believe. John, what's your assessment of that?
Yeah, my first blush, it's a typical Bigfoot photo. It's grainy. The figure is not close, and it could actually be a man with a coat on. But I would say it's passable. I mean, I guess it's photographic evidence. Could it be a Bigfoot? Yeah, I guess so, but still not definitive enough for me.
Okay. I'm sure everybody would agree with you on that one. Here's my thought. My thought is that what that is, that's Bernie Sanders trying his new winter coat.
Paul, you got something with that.
He's looking for soup. I want some soup. My impression for the week. There we go. Okay. So speaking of soup, what's the most important meal of the day?
Breakfast.
No, it's any meal that somebody else pays for.
Oh,
but
okay.
2 is breakfast. That's what everybody says. It's the most important meal of the day. So, just out of curiosity, I will mention that my favorite breakfast is oatmeal that I doctor up with raisins and bananas and walnuts and honey and cinnamon and all kind of stuff. So I do recognize breakfast as being an important meal. How about you, John and Karen? A bowl of cereal or
for me, I'm trying to concentrate on protein.
Oh yeah.
So I will have the traditional breakfast from 60 years ago, bacon and eggs.
Okay, that's protein rich right there. How about Karen? I don't want to put you on the spot there.
Okay, a toasted bagel every morning.
Oh, sounds good. Okay. Well, here's something new that comes from Japan, and this is a very popular breakfast in Japan. It's now being imported to the United States. Get ready for this. It comes from cup noodles. So you can figure out just by who's making it what it might be. This is the new cup noodles breakfast, which contains ramen noodles covered with artificially flavored maple syrup, pancake, sausage, and egg flavorings.
Oof.
Right. There's not even real pieces of anything in there other than the noodles. Just a goop that tastes like pancakes, maple syrup, sausage, and eggs. I'm not saying it's bad, but I tried to make a cup of it, and the water refused to be involved with it.
I can see why.
Yeah. John, would you eat something like this?
Paul, no, I don't think so. Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't look very appetizing.
No, it doesn't at all.
Yeah, it's noodles. It's noodles in a goopy liquid that's more like a stew makes it more like a stew than a soup. Which I guess is for if you're eating it while you're driving, because so you don't spill it. If it's a stew, you can kind of stick your tongue into it and kind of lap it out with your tongue, whereas without spilling it all over yourself. I'm guessing. I don't know. I've never tried that. But I mean, a liquid that tastes like pancakes, maple syrup, sausage, and eggs. I mean, after I go to a diner and have that, that's what my belch tastes like. So that's what that reminded me of. This is like a cup of noodles with a.
Paul, you have to keep a track on this one. Let's keep a track on this one to see how popular it becomes.
I think
it's popular in Japan. Is it popular?
I will suggest suggestion. What this reminded me of was the first Rocky movie, maybe the first two, where Rocky got a blender and he put all those eggs in and mixed all that stuff up. This sounds like something maybe Rocky would do today, 50 years later, when he's training to fight, a 75-year-old Apollo Creed. Just throw a bunch of sausage and scrambled eggs and down and go out for a walk. Okay, another unusual food here. This one comes from Houston, from my friends down in Houston. Steeler Girl and Tex Chick and Simon. Red Circle Ice Cream. I don't remember that. I don't think it was there when I lived down there. Is offering crawfish ice cream.
Oh,
There you go. Crawfish ice cream made with real crawfish, butter, garlic, and cayenne pepper. People who have tried it say it tastes like a frozen crawfish boil, which is a big stew of crawfish and stuff. Frozen crawfish boil, by the way, is what people in Louisiana call roadkill after a snowfall, because that's generally what it is. It's frozen crawfish. What crawfish, for those of you who don't know, are they look like little lobsters. They're in the spider family, and they're basically used for bait. Other than humans eating them, they're fish bait. I have fished with them in the Gulf. They're fish bait. Would you eat ice cream with worms in it? That's my question. Because you're basically you're basically doing the same thing here. I'm sorry. I don't eat any. I have a rule. I don't eat any kind of ice cream that forces me to have a mint afterwards. This has cayenne pepper. This has got all kind of stuff in there that I don't want in my ice cream. However, John and Karen and everybody out there who lives in Cleveland, we could do this in Cleveland. We could come up with a flavor of ice cream that signifies Cleveland. Now, my first thought was to follow the crawfish boil theme and go with the Cleveland equivalent of the crawfish boil, which is the clam bake. Clam bake ice cream. Think about it. Clams. Clam juice.
No.
Potatoes and corn. I guess is there anything else? What do you think? And maybe some fried chicken. I think there's fried chicken in there somewhere. Doesn't sound good. I got
Not for me.
No.
No.
How about
I don't think altogether it's that good.
how about kielbasa ice cream?
No.
No.
Believe it or not, there's a shop, a gourmet ice cream shop in the Czech Republic, in Mimon. I'm not sure where that is. In the Czech Republic, they call it kabakiova, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's a traditional Hungarian sausage, which is popular in the Czech Republic, and they make ice cream out of it. And they say that they use real sausage, they grind it up, mix it in with the ice cream, and they also, if you want to mix and match, like have a banana split with it. Besides the kielbasa ice cream, you can get mustard ice cream, dill ice cream, cabbage if you want a kapusta sundae, Balkan cheese, and beef sirloin. John, that's for you. Beef sirloin ice cream.
But I love beef sirloin, but married with ice cream, Paul, I don't know.
Believe it or not, the sausage one is their most popular, unusual flavor. So I thought, I don't know, that's too much for me. Okay. All right. So let's get to a world record. First world record today. A woman in Australia, her name is Danny Reynolds, set a Guinness record for the world's widest wig. Take a guess, Karen. How wide would the world's widest wig be?
The widest wig.
Yeah.
Maybe
everybody out there, you can be guessing too.
Yeah, 3 feet.
3 feet. Okay. Well, you're low. John?
I don't know. I can't hazard a guess.
Okay, here it is. We're looking at 8 feet 6 inches wide.
Wow.
That's a real wig. Yes.
Holy cow.
I thought my hair was.
I think this would have been a great thing for one of the women playing in the championship game on Sunday to wear. Defense, that'd be great defense right there. What do you think, Karen? Appealing?
I think that is obnoxious.
It looks like for those of you who can't see it, it looks like the woman has two big pieces of lumber, one on either side of her, covered with hair that
Yeah.
are somehow balanced on her head, and two giant bows in it.
Why would you want a wig like that?
I
That's a
know.
good question. I don't
Not to
know.
be funny.
That's
She's
the
really over the top with that.
Ugh.
I think she did it to set the record. It cost her $3,000. Took her 2 months to make it.
$3,000.
$3,000.
Wow.
Well, here's why. In addition to all the fake hair, and that's a lot of fake hair.
Yeah.
The underlying support structure, it had to balance on her head without any help. Okay, so the underlying support structure was made from, get ready, a bike helmet, PVC pipe, pool noodles, cable ties, and aluminum rods, which coincidentally is what the inside of my garage looks like. But this woman has it on her head plus hair.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
You remember beehive haircuts?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. This is a beehive retirement village. That's what it is. It's
Well, how did you get around? Paul and Karen, how did she get around? That's what I'm trying to figure.
I don't know, John. I think she did it long enough to set the record, and then she fell over. I'm sure that's what she did. I don't know. Stocky young lady. I think she's got to have strong legs to hold it up.
Oh, I would think so. Wow.
All right. So this is April 5th, April 4th. This is Easter week for the Catholics out there. Easter Sunday is Sunday. That means candy. So here's our story for Easter. 30-year-old man in Castlefield, West Yorkshire in England, has a disease called, get ready for this, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. He says that the reason, what this disease does, it causes him to avoid certain foods or types of food. Now, he's had this since he was a child, and he can only eat certain things. His body can only digest certain things. Before you start feeling sorry for him, the things that he can digest: chocolate, mashed potatoes, Yorkshire pudding, and fruit, which my British friend Simon says are the 4 basic food groups for English food. But and also fish and chips. I mean, you got to throw that in there.
Well, yeah, sure.
What this guy does, John and Karen and everybody out there, from January until April, when Easter candy is on sale, he gorges on Easter candy. He says he eats giant chocolate Easter eggs, between 3 and 6 of them a day. Now, these are, here's a photograph of the man. He looks pretty healthy, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I guess, yeah.
He doesn't look sickly. Well, he's got boxes of giant eggs all over him. This is it looks like maybe 2 or 3 days worth of chocolate eggs. He eats, during one Easter season, he eats over 250 Easter eggs. So if you want to justify your candy eating at Easter time, the disease, to tell your doctor to diagnose you, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. John, you could get more candy by doing this.
Yeah, you're right.
We're at Mally's, go to Mally's. That's the big candy store in Cleveland.
Sure.
Tell them you've got this disease. Maybe they'll feel sorry for you and load you up on free stuff. Okay. All right, John, have you ever gone surfing?
I have not.
No, not even the body surfing. I'm not going to ask Karen. I believe that's against your.
Whatever.
Well, I admit I have never gone surfing either. So this story comes from Japan. Seiko Sano, he's 89 years old. He just set the Guinness record for the world's oldest surfer. Here's a picture of him. So there he is, 89 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, looks pretty good. He's standing up on the board, not sitting or laying down. He's standing up, and then in the next picture, he's holding his certificate showing that he's the world's oldest surfer. Took the sport up only, I think, like 10 years ago. So he's a rookie, I guess, is what they would call him in the sport. When he's not setting records, he has a special surfboard with handlebars on it, with handrails to hang on to. But he had to set the record this way. He has favorite beach songs. He likes to listen to beach music while he's surfing. So his favorite Beach Boys song is California Cougars.
Oh,
Girls are too young, right, John?
I get it. I get it, Paul. Sure.
The other one he likes is fun till her children take her T-bird away.
He's a very hip guy.
Yeah, in good shape too. Look, he's in great shape. I've never surfed. They talk about hanging 10. I tried that one. I hang 52 because I hold on with my fingers, I hold on with my toes, and I hold on with all 32 of my teeth. There's no way I can stand up on a surfboard.
I think it's a challenging sport to me.
Very challenging. It's not the sport for me. Good thing we live in Cleveland, where Lake Erie has little tiny waves.
There you are.
I think people do surf on Lake Erie. I believe I've seen that.
Yes, they do. I know that for a fact. Well, yeah, and Karen.
Okay. All right, back to food here for a second. We've got the coronation coming up pretty soon, King Charles. If you're not ready and you want to join in the fun, some companies in England have prepared special foods in honor of the coronation. So here's one right here. We'll talk about this one first. This is Heck coronation chicken sausage. I don't know if that's one of the king's favorite dishes, but it's for sale. It has a crown on it. It's gluten-free. It's dairy-free. Heck's coronation chicken sausages, according to the label, marries British chicken with mild curry sauce, seasoning, and raisins, but gluten-free and dairy-free. Nothing says God save the king like a good sausage belch, I think. Why on earth would somebody think that this honors the king? I have no idea.
Well, hey, you know what? It's in England.
If you think
our friends in England, but it's in England.
I know. This is another one of those basic food groups there. Now, this is the other one that I thought was interesting. This is bottled cake mix. So this is from the Bottled Baking Company. They sell glass bottles filled with all of the fixings to make a cake. And this is the coronation cake mix in a bottle. It even has a little crown on it. Celebrate in style with this almond and white chocolate cake full of colorful confetti and sprinkles. What better way to celebrate? You can also keep the 100% reusable bottle, which is something you will have something that the king never had, because I don't think he's ever seen a milk bottle in his life. So they have one rule: you can any food is available to be an honorary coronation food, except for ears of corn. The king doesn't want anybody making jokes about ears. Okay. UFO. This guy. Speaking of England, so this guy, UFO specialist Colin Saunders, said that he studies triangular UFOs. He specializes. So he's been studying triangular UFOs, and he's convinced that aliens have come to Earth and they're stealing our sperm and our eggs to make a hybrid race of people. And he claims that they've already created these hybrids, and they're working at chip shops in England. Chip shops are the places that sell fish and chips and French fries, which are chips. You can tell if your chip shop clerk is an alien if you look at the greasy receipt and there's only 3 fingerprints on it. Definitely an alien. He says that we humans are so clueless that we can't recognize even if our spouses were aliens. John, I've met your lovely wife. I don't think she's a space alien. Can you recognize it?
Be careful what you say.
I know. But my question is, would you care? Would you care if your lovely wife was an alien? A space alien?
I would care, but in a way, but the good news is, like you said, she's not. So I'm very happy, and we'll leave it at that.
I think if she was a space alien, you'd have a much better car, because
probably. Yeah.
She'd be flying around. Yeah, you'd be the first.
Oh, yeah, sure. It would be a lifestyle change. To say the least. To say the least.
To say the least. That's right. To say the least. Okay. This I guess I could take this guy down here for a second. So this is interesting. John, you like to go to the art museum. I like to go to the art museum. This is an art story from Italy. New study found that the old masters would be the same as the Ninja Turtles. Leonardo da Vinci, Sandro Botticelli, Rembrandt. They found out that one of the ingredients that they used in their paint was egg yolk in their paint, in their oil paintings, which prevented the paint from wrinkling and as it aged, and also enhanced the colors. So I think that's great. Unfortunately, there's an impact on this because now that they know it, the Last Supper, his famous painting, must now be renamed The Last Breakfast.
Oh,
no, it doesn't. Wait, please don't start complaining.
Okay.
no, we're not complaining.
Okay, I've got one more alien story for you. Now, I wanted to include this one because this was the most popular story at Mysterious Universe this week. So it comes from Bolivia, and I've got photos of the aliens. So this is a good time for you to make the commitment to go to YouTube and take a look at What in the World on YouTube, so you can see these great photos of a real alien, not John's wife. This is a real space alien. And John's wife, Annette, is not an alien. Please don't.
That's the
my
disclaimer.
lovely wife is not an alien. Karen's husband,
He
alien.
is.
Okay, so this came from mainstream media sources. I have sources all over the world that send me stories, and this comes from mainstream La Paz and all the great the big the New York Times equivalent down in Bolivia. So they reported that multiple witnesses in Harina, which is in the La Paz district of Bolivia, they have reported seeing UFOs flying over their city just past week. And about the same time as they saw the UFO, they saw one land, and they saw small beings deboard from the UFO and were running around their city. So unfortunately, they didn't get any pictures of the beings while they were running, but they did get some photos of what they said was one of them that died in the gutter. Along the streets of one of the cities in Bolivia. So they took this, they posted it on where do they post everything? Not on TikTok, Twitter. Posted it on Twitter. So there you go. So this is what they claimed was a small alien, possibly even a child, a young alien, along a curb in the street of Harina, Bolivia. So you take a look at that. Now, I have another photo here.
Looks like a piece of metal.
Oh, good observation, Karen. There's a little more of a perspective here that you can see the shadows of the gentleman looking at it, and the stone of the step where it was at. I'm going to go back to the other one there because that's a very good observation. So for those of you who can't see it, the body there's not much to see on the body. It's and I think that's what gives Karen a hint to what it might be. The head is kind of, typical alien head, big on the top, narrow on the bottom, no mouth, looks in giant, almost almond-shaped eyes, except they're not, they're not really eyes. If you take a look at them, they're not eye sockets, certainly. They're not eyeballs, right?
Right.
Don't see any eyelashes. The nose doesn't seem, for something that was supposed to be alive just maybe hours before, unless aliens, deteriorate rapidly after they die. This is a very unusual, hard to believe photograph of an alien. John, what do you think? What's your take on it?
It's hard. I'm like torn. I'm not exactly sure. I'm actually befuddled by it, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of people believe that was an alien. They brought in a UFO expert from down in Bolivia. I mean, every country has UFO experts.
Okay.
They didn't call me. I'm surprised. But so he said that he believed that this was not something of Earth. So certainly could be an alien. Now, unfortunately, it disappeared before they could, shortly after the photograph was taken and before they could take it and analyze it, which is typical of these stories. So that's always suspicious. Karen, I liked your assessment. If you look at the body, it almost looks like it might be a pair of pliers, slightly buried in the dirt, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the face is, but it just does not look like something real.
Not even robotic. It doesn't.
No.
No.
It
That was my
fiction. It defies.
Yeah.
I
used the skeptical meter, and my skeptical meter, I didn't want to call it a hoax, but I had my needle on very hard to believe. And especially because it disappeared so quickly. So it said there was a dog. One of the witnesses had a dog, and the dog was barking. So they said, "Oh, that's because it sensed that it was something unusual." Well, that or it was hungry, or it smelled another dog. I mean, dogs bark for no apparent reason. So come on, I can't use that to prove that this is an alien. I'm sorry. But anyways, I wanted to share that because that was that was
unusual, very unusual.
Yeah. Not quite a Bigfoot. And John, pretty clear photograph.
Yes.
Very
well, I have to give you that, right? Yes, I'll give that to both you and Karen. That is a pretty distinct photo right there. Yeah,
you can see the shadow. You can see its shadow.
Yes, indeed. Okay,
6 more weeks of winter.
Oh,
if it's a hoax, they did a really good job of trying to fool us. So I'll give them credit for that. So
sure.
Anyway, that takes us to the end of our regular stories on What in the World, which means it's time for What in the World of Sports with John DiNllo. But let me take that photograph down there. There we go. Okay, so John was on sabbatical for this past week, and the week before that too, but we weren't on the air that previous week. So he's back. He's got his Cavaliers hat on. Every week I ask John to find an unusual sport for us, something that we've never heard of, something that fits in the theme of What in the World. And John always manages to find something unusual. I also ask him to find something that maybe we could participate in. That's not always, that's a challenge that is harder to achieve. This week, though, I think this week is one that we could participate in. So, John, why don't you explain your sport to us, and let me get your photos lined up for you.
Sounds good, Paul. Thanks for the introduction. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, our sport this week, it takes guts to play it.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it is called guts. Now, wait a minute. We're trying to inform here. We're trying to inform and educate, right?
When are you leaving for vacation again, John?
Not soon enough. Okay, wait a minute. So, the formal name of this sport is guts frisbee.
Oh.
Okay.
So, as you can guess, the game involves throwing a professional model frisbee or flying disc. The guts part comes on the receiving end. The thrower must throw the disc as hard as they can at an opposing player, who must catch the disc with one hand. If you don't think that takes guts, get ready for this. A thrown frisbee can easily hit 70 miles per hour.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. 70 miles an hour. So you throw it at somebody, you throw it at the other player, and they have to catch it with one hand.
That is right. Now, guts was introduced as the first international frisbee tournament, which was held in Eagle Harbor, Michigan way back in 1958.
Wow.
Wow.
By the early 1970s, however, the game has spread across the United States and to other countries. After it was featured on ABC's Wide World of Sports,
Of course.
they were up to, get ready for this, 60 tournaments a year in the U.S. alone.
Wow. How did we never hear about this?
Right. And while not as popular in the U.S. today, Guts Frisbee spread to Japan and Taiwan, and now many American Guts players compete in Asian countries.
Oh, that's where all the money is. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Now, the rules are simple. 2 5-member teams stand on boundaries set 15 yards apart. And what the teams do is they take turns hurling a pro model Frisbee so hard or with such a tricky trajectory that that very few opponents can make a clean one-handed grab.
Wow.
You may wonder if you would be able to wear gloves, but by the tournament rules or by the sport rules, no gloves are allowed. And
okay. These guys, there's gloves on these photos here. I think some of these guys might be just playing catch.
right. But in the competition, no go.
Yeah.
So the Frisbee must be caught in one hand and not trapped against the body. So if a person is having one hand but doesn't have the entire Frisbee grasped clearly or cleanly, it's not a catch.
Okay.
Huh.
No. If the thrower
Right.
If the thrower misses the scoring area, the receiving team scores a point.
Oh, okay.
Now, if a member of the receiving team catches the disc cleanly, neither team scores a point. If the throw is within the scoring area and the receiving team fails to catch or catches but drops the disc, the throwing team gets a point.
Okay. So you kind of stand in a circle and the thrower has to be accurate enough to get it to get it in the area of the receiver.
They call it the scoring area. That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have to throw it hard enough and tricky enough that the receiver can't catch it.
That's right. The receiving team, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The receiving team then picks up the disc and becomes the throwing team. So, catchers are allowed to deflect the Frisbee to another teammate, and players can also catch a disc that bounces off of a teammate as long as the last catch is with one hand.
Oh, now that could be fun.
Yeah, I think that would make for some interesting competition.
So you let the fat guy be first, and he gets hit by the Frisbee, and it bounces off, and then
it's going to deflect, and it's going to go, and hopefully another.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. And as it is with a lot of competitive sports, if you want to call this a competitive sport, the first team to score 21 points wins.
Yes.
If you don't think that guts takes guts, tournaments generally end with players having skin knees, mashed and twisted fingers, and bloody noses.
Wow. I can see that.
Karen, this is for you. The Sports International governing body is the World Flying Disc Federation, or the WFDF.
Oh, yeah.
North American players are under the United States Guts Players Association.
Oh, my God.
And the acronym for that association is the USGPA. Now, for top male and female players, the ultimate achievement is to be elected into the Guts Frisbee Hall of Fame.
No, really?
There is a Guts Frisbee Hall of Fame. Now, in closing, as I know we've covered a lot of ground here, Guts sounds like a fun game for summer picnics.
Yeah.
But just remember not to let the disc hit you in the gut. Wait, more insurance plans don't cover a Frisbee stuck in your navel.
That's true. Yeah. You're right about that, John.
Just keep that in mind, everyone. Keep it in mind.
Certainly not Medicare, that's for sure.
I don't think I'm going to be playing this anytime too soon.
Yeah, I think unfortunately this disqualifies all three of us, folks.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, no, but John, you're right. This is bigger. It's a bigger sport than I thought it was. This picture right here is from the USA Guts website, and this was from one of their major competitions in the United States. But I had another photo from Germany. This is the German Guts team, and there's like how many? There's 24 guys here.
Really.
That compete internationally, throwing frisbees at each other. That we missed the boat somewhere.
Well, I mean, I think it's challenging, right? Obviously, and there was some fun to it, I'm sure, right? I mean, but
I've had skin knees, so that doesn't fade. Broken nose, I don't know about that, but
I don't know. But at any rate, it just shows you the scope of the I'm not going to say the wide world of sports. I'm going to say that how sports is ever prevalent, is ever present.
Yeah. Wide, and it was on Wide World of Sports. That's amazing to me. What a great show that was. Well,
it was.
Although obviously we don't remember it being on Wide World of Sports, believe it or not, John, I do remember the two of us participating in a game similar to this back when we were in college. I know everybody knows who's listened to the show before that John and I we're fraternity brothers. We went to the same college. We're good friends since then. And John, we participated in a competition at our college at John Carroll against another fraternity that was very similar to this. Now, before I go on, we lived in the era of frisbee.
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
As soon as the snow melted, there were people in our quadrangle, the big grassy area at our school, throwing frisbees around. And I was one of them. In fact, this is a picture of my dorm room here. I had a lot of
Whoa.
I had a lot of frisbees back then. There's the overflowing closet filled with frisbees here. But John,
I think you were stealing them from like other people, Paul. Those are not all yours.
No. So I was storing them for them.
Okay.
So John and I our fraternity was challenged by another fraternity, and we really wanted to win because we weren't doing so well that year in competition. And John came up with this brilliant idea on how we were going to win the competition. And he brought a special frisbee along with him. I want to show you John throwing his special frisbee. So there's the frisbee that John came up with here. That's about the size of a small wading pool is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I had forgotten all about this, Paul, but now that you showed that photo, it all comes back to me now.
So I think there must have been a spy on the other team because they anticipated that John was going to be bringing this giant frisbee. So they brought their own frisbee, which they threw at me. Now this, I believe this is when I started getting interested in UFOs because that thing is like the size of a beach umbrella over my head.
Wow, look at how big it is. It's in fact it's so big it's out of the photo. Look at it.
So anyways, we had a lot of fun. The perspective makes it look like it's quite the large frisbee there. But we did have fun in college, John. I know that. And we have a couple of our college buddies who listen to us on the show. So I want to give a shout out to them as well. And thanks for the great sport, John. Guts.
You're welcome, Karen and Paul. It was a lot of fun to do.
Guts. USA Guts. Sounds like a campaign slogan. But we're not going to go there. Instead, we're going to go to Bluff the co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. For those of you who haven't listened to the podcast before, it's real simple. I have 3 stories similar to the ones that we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference. All of those were absolutely 100% real. The ones in Bluff the co-host may or may not be. And it's up to you, Karen and John, to decide whether the story that I'm reading is real or a bluff. Gambling is allowed. Boy, gambling is up in Ohio. I just heard on the news. So all of our Ohio friends, place your bets. John and Karen, hands on the buzzards. Let's get right to story number one. Oh, by the way, John, the audience played for you last week, and you scored no points. So.
Oh, wait a minute. I love the audience. I really love the audience, but no points?
No
Wow.
points. Not at all, John. I'm
Karen,
sorry.
how
I'm
many
not
did
very
Karen get
supportive.
right? How many did Karen get right, if I may ask?
I got 2 right.
Oh, good. All right. That's
Yeah.
That's representing. You're representing then, Karen. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. I
Okay,
got work cut out for me today.
Okay, story number one. A small village in Wales has a huge problem on its hands being caused by small dogs. A local dog breeder went out of business and let his last 10 Welsh corgis run away, and now they have gone wild and are terrorizing the villagers. Residents say they sleep in different yards every night, dig up flowers, eat food they put out for their own pets, and howl all night long. Unfortunately, the police told them there is nothing they can do about the wild corgis because they are still protected under the royal law set because they were Queen Elizabeth's favorite dogs. The villagers actually petitioned King Charles for help with the hairy dogs, but he has his own hairy problem and told them to get a stiff upper lip and some more dog food. So the Welsh village that is overrun by wild corgis, real or bluff? What do you say, Karen?
I'm going to say it's a bluff. And I think you did a really good job writing that story.
Flattery will get you nowhere, especially if it's not a bluff. But thank you anyway. So Karen said that this is a bluff. John, how about you back in the seat there?
I'm gonna put my neck on the line on this one. I'm gonna say it's real. And Wales is an interesting country, but I think it's very plausible that dogs could be doing this. So I'm gonna say it's real.
So John says that one of those cities with those big long names that has no vowels but a lot of L's and W's.
Right. That's right.
Is being terrorized by Welsh corgis, while Karen says that story is a bluff. Do I have that right?
You got it right.
That's it.
Check with the judges, and the judges say, "Congratulations, Karen. That's a bluff."
Oh,
John,
Karen, very good. Very good.
Rust off here.
Maybe
I try.
Maybe it was a smaller pack of Gorkies that did it. Not
Okay. All right. We'll get right to give you a second chance here, John. Let's get right to story number 2.
Sounds good.
NASA just announced the names of the next 4 astronauts to go back to the moon. But the real big news in space travel this week came from a California company which announced plans to send the first Bitcoin to the moon. The company will team with SpaceX to launch a Bitcoin wallet containing 62 Bitcoins, currently worth $1.5 million, on a rover that will land on the moon near the South Pole. There it will sit and roam until a real human space traveler comes along and gets the wallet's key, which is written somewhere on the rover. It is hoped that the treasure will inspire people to go to the moon. There's no word on whether astronauts are eligible for the prize. Okay, first Bitcoin on the moon coming soon from a California company. What do you say, John? Real or bluff?
Yeah, I'm going to say bluff. Too many negative things associated with Bitcoin, and I don't know. It's totally a government-funded project, SpaceX, right? I mean, it's a government project, right?
Okay.
I mean, government program. I don't see how Bitcoin can, or a Bitcoin company or whatever, can do such a thing. I'm going to say it's a bluff.
John's not big on Bitcoin. You don't have any Bitcoin, do you?
Do not. I do not.
No. Neither do I. All right. So John says it's a bluff. Karen, what do you say?
I agree. Bluff.
Oh, okay. Karen says it's a bluff as well. I'm going to say Karen doesn't have any Bitcoin either. It
No.
amazes how many places take Bitcoin. Possibly the moon. Let's find out. Let's check with the judges. Karen and John both say it's a bluff. The judges say that's a real story. It's actually a private company, John.
Okay.
Space company working with SpaceX.
Okay. Okay.
Real legitimate story. They're sending Bitcoin. I don't know if it's Elon Musk Bitcoin or what the heck it is, but happening soon, not within a year or two. So be ready for that.
Just for the record, it's being sent there because it can be sent. Is that the reason for it? I mean,
They want to encourage private citizens to go to the moon.
Oh, that's what you mentioned. I'm sorry. Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So they're hoping that other private space companies will send people to the moon for the specific person of dumping them at the South Pole to look for a rover.
Got some incentive there. Okay. All right. I got it.
I know it's Bitcoin. What can I say? All right. So the score is still 1-0. Karen's in the lead, but John has a chance to tie things up because points are double in round number 3. So John, this is your chance to recover from 2
I'm going
weeks
to
of
try
vacation.
real hard.
Okay. Story number 3. You've heard of missing person reports, but Dairy Queen in Arizona issued a missing spoon report when a giant red spoon, which it had on the wall outside the store, was stolen. The 15-foot-long red spoon cost $7,000. So the owners decided to offer a reward of free blizzards to anyone who could help find it. The police were holding out for free donuts, and the spoon was missing for a week. Then a man playing Pokemon Go found the giant red spoon on a middle school baseball field where it was serving as a very large home plate. Speaking of serving, he is now being served all the blizzards he can eat, and each has a red spoon in it. Okay, so the stolen 15-foot red spoon from a Dairy Queen in Arizona, recovered by a man playing Pokemon Go. What do you say, Karen? Real or bluff?
It sounds real, so I'm going to go along with it.
Oh, Karen says it's real. Do you like blizzards?
No.
No. Okay. Karen says it's real. John, how about you?
I'm going to agree with Karen. I want to say it's real, and I really can visualize this experience or this situation. There's some kind of significance for how big this spoon is at the Dairy Queen in Arizona. There's something to it. And I can believe that it ends up on a little league playing field, little league ball field. So, yeah, I'm going to say it's true.
Okay. So John says it's true. Karen says it's real as well, right?
Yep.
The 15-foot stolen red spoon from Dairy Queen. Let's check with the judges. The judges say congratulations to both of you. That's a real story.
All right.
Congratulations to Karen for winning.
Congratulations, Karen. Another victory.
I've been studying.
Well, I'm glad I got one right. I mean, so I'm rallying.
It took John 2 questions to knock the rust off. So by next week, he's going to be, look out, Karen. He'll be ready for it.
I know.
I'll be very competitive next week. Very, very competitive.
There you go. All right. Well, we come to an end of the end of another edition of What in the World, everybody's favorite weird news podcast. Real news, sometimes strange, always funny. I want to thank Karen Hale, our podcast media mogul, our producer, our co-host. Thank you for everything you do for us and for everybody at newclevelandradio.net, our platform. Please visit newclevelandradio.net. Find out how to download us. It's free. Find out how to get to YouTube and follow us. It's free. And then go and check out all the rest of the podcast that Karen has. All kind of great stuff. Just new things every week. So it's a great to check it out and recheck. As always, welcome back, John DiNllo. Thanks for all you contribute to our show. What in the world of sports trivia and all those good things and promoting the local sports teams. Thanks for that.
Oh, you're welcome, Paul and Karen. It's always good to be back, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Absolutely.
Annette and I will be studying for Bluff the Co-host. Okay, we'll be doing that. So, nothing, Karen, nothing against you, of course. I'm just saying that I'm going to sharpen my skills, and we're going to work on it, and hopefully I'll be ready to go next week.
Sounds like a great plan.
If Karen was a space alien, she could even be even more helpful to you.
I could be. No, it's my husband who's the space alien.
There you go.
But before we close this out, there is somebody who's been listening today by the name of Grandmaster UV. I don't know if you know who that is.
Well, probably somebody from Facebook. Oh, thank you for listening. Wow.
And what he says is Karen is a Karen. No, I'm not. If you don't know what a Karen is supposedly is, then yeah. So
No,
Grandmaster
no, I can
UV,
vouch
you
for
don't
that.
know me, but
I can vouch for that. Nope, not at all. Not at all. In fact, we often call her other things.
okay. Hope the Easter Bunny